Hey, hey everybody. Welcome to Imperfect TV with me, Gemma Blythe. Today we are going to learn all about how trauma manifests in the body through using guided journaling. So it's your normal Monday morning journaling session. So I hope you're all ready with your pen, paper, whatever you've got, drag it in. Also, I highly recommend a cup of tea. So if you haven't got one, what are you doing? Go grab one. Quick, very quick. Off you go. Um, so we're looking at the how your body reacts to your trauma and triggers. Because our bodies have very, very different reactions. So we are going to journal to unlock all that and unpack why we may feel certain ways when we think about our past traumas. So that's the main thing, but we are also working to better understand our thought processes and emotions when it comes to our traumas too, which those can go under the radar. So, as I talk to many different women about their past traumas, one thing that comes up is almost like a spin dryer situation where they don't know why they're thinking, feeling all these different things. The body goes into almost kind of, I compare it to a spin dryer situation. So, when you've got like either your washer or dryer on that spin cycle, I compare it to that. And as somebody that's been through trauma, it is very, very much like that spin dryer situation. Like you've got all these thoughts, feelings, emotions coming up at the same time. And it's really quite complex because you don't realize why those thoughts, feelings, emotions are coming up for you. So, this morning is going to be challenging, but you can do it. And it's a necessary part of your healing process. I want you by the end of this to be able to have something that you can either refer back to, take to a therapist, take to a life coach, and say, look, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's happening whenever I think of my past traumas, whenever I'm faced with a triggering situation. Because the more you have to present to your therapist or life coach, the more they can better understand what you're going through and what you've been through. So never feel ashamed of your experiences because your experiences can help guide so many people, yourself included. So you will get something from this today. I am absolutely sure you will. So to begin with then, you're probably sat there thinking, what the hell am I doing here on a Monday? Why am I here? You're here because journaling helps create your thought processes, allows your brain the time it needs to heal. That's why you're here. Not only that, but if you cultivate journaling into a healthy process, you're onto a winner. Nobody can stop you because you know your thoughts and feelings. You know why you feel a certain way. You take back that control that was taken from you. This is the part of your life where you can sit down. This is a safe space. You can vent in the comments. You can write whatever you want to in your journal. Because here's the thing. Nobody is here to judge. Everybody is surrounded by judgment each day. Everybody is surrounded by comparison each day. This is your chance to step out of that comparison, to step out of that judgment, leave it behind. That's in the rear view. This moment here, this is for you. That's why you're here today. So, I'm going to start off with some breath work and to help raise your awareness, settle your emotions, and just allow your body to relax. So, as I play the following video, animation, whatever you want to call it, I want you to just breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth. Notice any tension. Notice where that might be, particularly around the jaw, shoulders, and just relax into this morning. This time is for you. Let's make the most of it. Let's get the most out of it. Okay. So here we go. Okay, how are we all? Are we all more relaxed and wound down after that? I hope so, because that's when you can get the most out of your journaling practice and know when it is really, truly benefiting you. So, as I've got 4 journaling prompts for you this morning, and each one of those prompts is directed at how the trauma manifests in the body, getting you to recognize the thoughts, symptoms, triggers, emotions, processes, and many other things connected to your body and how it helps to raise your awareness when something is wrong. So, without further ado, as I go through these journaling prompts, Don't forget, if you are watching this on demand or on YouTube, you can pause, do the prompt, take as much time as you want. While I'm live, I will play that quick animation once again after every prompt. That will then give you time to answer it. Please take your time. Don't rush, because when the animation is finished, we'll come back together. I'll give you some more hints, tips, other prompts maybe to guide your reflection. So let's get cracking. Here we go. So the first one is, how does your body react to stress or reminders of your trauma? So have you noticed anything which seems off within you when you think about your past trauma, your past situations that you may have found yourself in? What comes up for you? What sensations do you feel around your body? Because this is crucial when it comes to getting to know you, but getting to know your body on that deeper level, so you have a higher connection and sense of self than you currently have. That's what this is all about. So I'll give you just over a minute to do this one, and then we'll reconvene and I'll give more hints, tips, prompts, etc. So please make notes. So that prompt focused more on the body's reaction to stress and trauma. And it's interesting because when you're in high moments of stress, you may find that your body gravitates almost to you thinking about trauma. And you may wonder why that is. And it's because of the pressure that you face. Your body goes back into the natural, annoying negative thought patterns. So the more you can find the triggers, the stress points, the pressure points, and almost, I don't want to say face them head on, but I do want to say face them head on, because that's when you can tackle that and almost at its core, almost like at the heart of the problem. So that's what we're going to focus on. So during that, what came up for you? Did you notice any symptoms, any sensations that may have a common pattern, such as tension in different places, like the shoulders is a common one, stomach is another common one, and the jaw especially. I know so many people who have struggled with tension in their jaw after trauma, which is so interesting, right? It's interesting how our body holds on to that emotion and turns it into something different, something that we wouldn't have thought of. So racing heart, that's another one. When you're sat sometimes, particularly if it's the anniversary of a trauma. I know I've had this before where I've just been sat drinking coffee with one of my friends, and all of a sudden I get a notification on my watch saying like my heart rate's raised. So that could be linked to past trauma. If you notice it happen on certain dates, certain times. There's also times when you may experience shallow breathing. So times when you might feel as though you haven't been able to catch a proper breath, which is why, sorry, my hair's annoying me. So that's why I always insist on doing breath work. And it's something I do too when I'm sat on my own and I'm about to journal, because it gives me that space that I need, that extra room to breathe. And another common thing is numbness. So you may experience things where you might not be able to feel as deeply as somebody else. Or you may experience times where everything passes really quickly and you can't quite keep up. And then you wonder why. That's the numbness. Because you're numb to, everything that's going on around you. So then we move on to how your body communicates when something is off. Do you notice pain? Do you notice that your emotions are everywhere, like that wave that never quite calms down? Or do you notice that you feel as though you can't connect, not only to yourself, but to different people? And then have you noticed any patterns with this? Any regularities between your symptoms to thoughts and vice versa? It's interesting how the body communicates with us as people, because it can be very intelligent. It is intelligent. Because without the body and its signals, how would we know when something isn't right? Okay. So the next prompt then is, what emotions tend to surface when you think about your trauma or experience triggers? So we've moved on now from reactions to emotions. We're moving to different processes that your body goes through when you've been through trauma. And we're going to also where the trauma is stored within your body. And we're targeting it together. That's the most crucial thing. You are not going through this on your own. We are going through this together. It's a journey. I hate that word. Can somebody please come up with another word for journey? Anyway, side note over. What emotions tend to surface when you think about your trauma or experience triggers? So I will play the video again for just over a minute, and then we'll come back and I'll go through some more processes, thoughts, feelings, etc., and see where we're all at. Don't forget, if you want to dump thoughts in the comments, please do. I encourage it. This is a safe space. This is somewhere where you can come to just vent, and I will go through the comments, answer as many as I can, because it's super important that everybody feels that they are not in this alone. Okay. Okay, so our emotional responses can tell us so much about ourselves, more sometimes than our physical responses can. And this is because as people, we are used to masking our emotions. So a lot of the time, it's easier to gain connection with our physical symptoms and sensations as opposed to our emotional ones. Which means that when we unlock our emotional ones, it's like opening that cupboard door that's been locked for so long. Because it means that we are no longer willing to mask our emotions, at least not with ourselves. So I'm intrigued to know what came up for you during that. I know, as I've talked to other women who have been through trauma specifically, they've said that they feel anger, shame, fear, sadness, or numbness whenever they've thought about their trauma or they've experienced triggers throughout their daily lives. And those are really common emotions to feel after experiencing trauma. That's not to invalidate them. It means that you are validated because the people around you who have experienced trauma will have also too likely experienced anger, shame, guilt, sadness, and then the numbness too. Because they'll have felt as though everything around them and the people around them are going through so many different things, but they're numb to it because of the trauma that they've experienced. So, do those affect your daily life? And in what way? Do they make you feel as though you struggle to do your work because you can't connect with people as you once could? Or do they make you feel as though you want to stay in and just hide like a little hermit? Which is fine. Both of those are fine. Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel is the biggest takeaway that you could possibly take away from this. Because the more you allow yourself to feel how you want to feel, the more in connection with your emotions, your thought processes, your sensations around your body that you will be. And I've already said what an incredible situation that would be. So then think about how your emotions are tied to your trauma. Did you experience something which made you feel overwhelming sadness or numbness at the time? Maybe a situation was taken out of your control. And maybe you didn't feel like you had anybody to talk to. Those are all things that are things that our emotions can latch onto. They're situations where our emotions can play such a heavy role. But also sometimes our emotions get overlooked. Because everybody knows a situation where you can't see wounds on the inside, right? That's why emotions get overlooked. Don't let yours be overlooked anymore. So then you may reflect on the processes that you would like to go through to heal. And this is where it's super, super, super important to make sure that you are in touch with either a therapist or a life coach or both. So then you can get that help from both angles. You can experience that accountability and those steps forward to help you with your beliefs that you may hold on to after trauma. Which leads us on now to the third prompt for this morning. What thoughts or beliefs have your trauma led you to hold about yourself or the world? You may have a strong dislike for people. You may have a strong dislike for a group of people. But why? This gets you to dig into the why. This also gets you to look at any negative beliefs that you may have about yourself and any negative self-talk that you hold on to about yourself. So I don't want this to turn into a page of rants in your journal. But if it does, it does. And In all seriousness, it can do. But just write down on the page whatever needs to come out in that moment. Write it down. Feel whatever you need to feel. Because you're validated in this space. You are welcome in this space. So take some time now to write. Enjoy writing and let your mind wander on the page. Okay. We'll reconvene, then I'll talk you through some points. Hey. So, what thoughts or beliefs have your trauma led you to hold about yourself or the world? So, these are very often any thoughts or beliefs that have come up as a result of the trauma. Very often, any thoughts or beliefs that we had get lost during the trauma, which is normal. It's normal to have your thoughts tested. It's normal to have your beliefs tested. When both are tested, you tend to feel as though you don't know where you belong, you don't know what you believe in anymore, and you struggle to get yourself out of that patch. So, you may struggle with negative self-talk, convincing yourself that you are unworthy, incapable of trusting, you're unsafe. Those are common. But there's a way in which you can do it, so then it's not negative anymore. Think about this for a second. Are you unsafe currently? Or is it anxiety? Because sometimes if you get over anxious, your body goes into that flight or fight mode, and then it convinces you that you are unsafe. So I want you to look around at the moment and judge for yourself whether you are unsafe. If you are not, I want you to look at yourself in a mirror or write in your journal and say, I am safe. Okay? Keep writing it for as many times as you need. And notice the way your thoughts change around that. Notice how you believe what you are writing. Notice how everything becomes lighter. And then look at what you've written. I am. And then positive after it. It's rewriting, it's reprogramming the negative in your brain. It's saying, no, I am safe. I know I'm safe. Look, read what I've written. So any time that you catch yourself falling into a negative thought process, stop, think, look, write, or say. And things will change. So then that can impact on our thought choices and how we choose to think. We might turn down opportunities because we might believe that we're not good enough, when in actual fact, you are good enough. You just need to believe that you're good enough. So, with all that taken into account, what came up for you during that? Because another common thing is disconnection, and that is what we're going to move on to next. So, here we go. So, it's how do you experience disconnection from your body, and what steps can you take to reconnect with it? So, again, a lot of people, when they've experienced trauma, experience disconnection. Sometimes a lot of the memories people have get blurred. Sometimes a lot of the connections they had to people and have to people become disconnected through no fault of their own. So it's all about experiencing that disconnection and then taking steps to reconnect. And it's those steps that we're going to focus on. So, again, I'm going to give you just over a minute to jot down how you may experience disconnection emotionally, physically, in different relationships. However you experience it, it's your experience, it's your own unique experience. So I'm going to give you just over a minute to jot down whatever comes to mind. Remember, there's no right, there's no wrong. This is your space, your time. Just write. Just write and let yourself experience this. Okay. Just over a minute, guys. So, what came up for you during that? It can be very challenging talking about disconnection because it can feed into the negative self-talk, but we need to move away from that and we need to focus deeper. So some people struggle with feeling present or grounded in where they are today. Some people feel like time just rushes by so fast and that they need to keep up with everybody else and they're almost jogging to keep up. So focus on allowing yourself to feel in the moment. One common thing that I find helps is keeping a stone or keys in your pocket that you can just go into and hold and allow yourself to feel the sensation of that beneath your fingers, because that allows you to stay present. That feeling reminds you that you are present. And also something that I recommend is when you're walking outside, walk out either in barefoot or keep your socks on and just allow yourself to feel the ground beneath your feet and breathe. All those things allow you to feel external feelings to the ones in your head. And it's those that allow your mind, body, nervous system to regulate. So, what steps have you taken already to start reconnecting with who you are and your sense of self? And what steps do you want to take? Are there any that you've seen that may benefit you, such as mindfulness, movement, breath work, an ice bath, which benefit you? Because there's no right or wrong. It's just how you choose to do this. Whatever works for you, because it's your own experience. But ultimately, it's about cultivating that sense of safety within your body and allowing yourself to feel the way you need to feel in that moment. So, that being said, I hope you've got a lot out of today. I just want to do a quick recap of the things that we've covered. So we've covered how your body reacts to stress or reminders of your trauma. We've covered what emotions tend to surface when you think about your trauma or past triggers or triggers that you're currently experiencing. We've covered the thoughts or beliefs that may have occurred in you as a result of your trauma that you can hold about yourself or the world. And we've also covered how you experience disconnection from your body and the steps you can take to reconnect. I hope that you found value in what we've done. Please join me. Click the bell to be notified next Monday when I come live again to talk on a different topic to do with trauma recovery. And I hope that this gives you some peace and some knowledge over trauma and what to expect. And I hope that you feel validated. And remember, it's perfectly okay to be imperfect. Here on Imperfect TV. I've been Gemma Blythe. You've been you. Thank you for joining me this morning. And I will see you next Monday.